Welcome to Avalon State of the Arts, where we explore different components and dimensions of our school, Avalon School of the Arts, and its music counterpart, the Avalon Music Academy of Holland.
We're your hosts, Rich and Marie, and we look forward to sharing interesting topics about our school in a fun, easy-to-listen-to format.
Because my mom, who founded our school, taught me, if you're not having fun with this, then you're not doing it right. Spring greetings and salutations, Avalonians, students, families, friends, and well-wishers. We're so excited that the weather seems to have taken a turn, and we may be on the upswing after the beginning of the week. Maybe a little less snowflakes would be kind of nice, and also hopefully everyone in the north end of the state is doing well, as there were some ice storms going through there. So we have a lot of stuff going on at the studio. I guess first on the list to tell you about, we have a bunch of projects going on. And of course, if you've been to the north lot, we reconfigured everything so the parking is a little bit more logical, makes more sense. And to that end, we put in a pond to the north of the parking lot too. So with spring break week ahead of us here, we're going to have some more work going on there. Basically, that whole area is going to be seeded. And then also, too, we're putting in two light poles in that parking lot. So the bases are going to go in during spring break week. And then they have to, since it's concrete, it takes a little time to cure. Then after that, the poles are going to go in, and it'll be great. The lighting out there is going to be fantastic. Also, now that the weather is hopefully breaking for the better, we're going to be putting in some trees and some shrubs to kind of beautify that area around the parking lot. There's going to be 11 trees and 47 shrubberies. Of course, I'm using the Monty Python term of shrubberies. So, look for that. And we're excited about that area just kind of, I guess looking a little bit nicer. Now, other stuff. We have music recitals going on, of course, in June. So signups are underway for that. The rock and roll drum recital is going to be June 18th. All these recitals are going to be at the Park Theater for music recitals. And then the rest of the recitals are going to take place on Saturday, June 21st and Sunday, June 22nd. So I just sent out a mini newsletter on April 1st that has sign-up information. And of course, you can stop by the office to get that link or to sign up your child for the music recital. Music recitals are completely optional, but I got to tell you, they're a lot of fun. Right? So if you haven't been to the Park Theater yet, of course, for one thing, it's been there for forever. One of my first bands, played there when I was 15. And so it's always fun to come back there. They have a really nice stage, a light show, and a full sound system. So the students get a really fun experience. We keep our music recitals casual. We're just there to have the kids have some fun playing music for a supportive audience of family and friends. And I guess to that end also, in 2025, for this year, we are sponsoring, the Park Theater has an open mic night junior, which is the third Sunday of the month from 6 to 9, and all music students can sign up, and all Avalon students in general can sign up at the office for their spot. It happens the third Sunday of the month, so there's not going to be one this month because of it's Easter on the 20th. But the next one will be on May 18th. So feel free to contact us if you have any questions or you want to sign up with that. There'll be more information on that going out in the main newsletter that comes out in the middle of the month. In theater news, we just had our auditions for Schoolhouse Rock, and so already those songs are stuck in my head. I'm just walking around singing Conjunction Junction. The big fun news we have in addition to that is that we're going to have a live band. So I get to play guitar, and we have some other teachers joining in to form the Schoolhouse Rock live band, and it's going to be a blast. We'll, of course, be announcing details on that and ticket information as it gets closer to the performance, which is going to be the weekend performances, which is going to be the weekend of June 28th. Of course, in dance news, we are busy preparing for the big dance recital in June, and I'm sure all of our dance families have already been receiving a whole bunch of news on schedules and rehearsals and all that kind of stuff. It's a really emotional experience because it's a big undertaking. It's a wonderful milestone for all of our dance students, and we just have such a wonderful time doing dance recitals every year. In spring break and studio news, and we're going to get more into this in today's episode, Maria and I are headed down to Nashville for a conference where we're going to get an award of excellence from a field of over 300 schools. And also, I'm going to be on a panel that will be advising schools from all over the world. So I'm super fired up about this, and we'll have more information when we get back. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of cool stories and fun anecdotes regarding that. All right, so for today's episode, it's everything you need to know about spring and summer music lessons. So Marie's going to interview me, and I'm going to let you know everything you need to know about how we work spring and summer music lessons here at Avalon. Hello there, Marie.
Hi, Rich.
How are you doing?
I'm doing so good.
I am too. I'm excited.
Good. I'm glad.
We're on the precipice here of spring break, and there was snow this morning.
Yeah, it's so crazy. The energy the week before spring break is always so good because everybody's, happy to be in class, but then so happy to transition to a week vacation.
So could it be like one of those, how you see the sayings above doors and stuff, where I think we have one, right? That says love is kind and all that.
Yeah.
And that's what it says, is love is kind and all
love
that.
Love is patient, love is kind.
Oh, okay, yeah. So what if it said live like every week is the week before spring break?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, that would be great.
A double door.
I like it though.
So this is to be a fun one. We're actually headed down to Nashville for a conference for music and dance schools the first part of the week.
Yeah. And then second part of the week, we'll go and actually vacation because we always have to mix a little business and pleasure. So we're going to see the Great Smoky Mountains, which should be beautiful. I've never been there before. Have you been there?
I have not.
I didn't think so.
And we're going to do that activity we always do where you can tag us when you...
Yes. Yeah. I was just thinking about that this morning. It's hashtag Avalon Spring Break. If you take a picture of yourself or your child, whatever, doing something related to what they do here at Avalon, so dance, theater, or music, and then you post that picture on social media and you tag hashtag Avalon Spring Break. And so every year we get entries from people who are doing cartwheels on the beach or, handstands wherever, in the airport and things like that. And then we do a drawing for a winner and they get an Avalon hoodie. So one person will win an Avalon hoodie. So it's a lot of fun. It's always really great to see what people are doing where they go on spring break. Yeah.
So there's some special big news that I have alluded to in our newsletter for this month. At the conference, we are going to be awarded the Award of Excellence, and there's a plaque involved.
Ooh, gotta love a good plaque.
Bringing the plaque back to Holland. I'll be excited about that. And then they have me on a panel advising other schools from all over the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
It will. It's going to be a fun time. I look forward to maybe our next podcast. We'll tell some stories of our adventures in Nashville.
Love it. Sounds good.
So today we are going to talk about music lessons for spring and summer. And it's an opportune time, but also for new families, I think it's an idea where, music lessons are a little bit different than dance classes. Right.
So in during the school year is basically our dance session. So our main primary dance session runs from September through the first week in June when we do our spring dance recital, and then we have a break for a couple weeks, and then we start our summer session, which is separate enrollment than our classes during the school year. So during the summer, we have camps, we have classes once a week, we have a lot of fun things going on in the summer, and then in late July, we start enrollment again for the next school year worth of lessons, but that is not the same schedule that we follow for music lessons.
So our next podcast will be devoted to summer programs for dance.
Sounds good.
Okay, so for today, we're focusing on music lessons during the summer, and I just want to get us started with kind of like an idea of, I guess, where we were at our old location and kind of then that bringing to our new location. All right.
Okay.
And so basically the concept that I'm getting is the concept of inventory.
Okay.
And, usually that's thought of as like a retail, like at your dance store type thing.
Yes, exactly.
So the concept of inventory as it relates to lessons here is that when we had 6 rooms at our old location, those were filled up Monday through Saturday, we're at capacity, okay?
Yeah.
So then when we did our expansion and bought this building, now we have 11 rooms. So essentially doubling our inventory of possible lesson times.
Yep, that makes sense.
So therefore, like we're a year and a half into this, right?
Yeah, a year and a half.
So therefore, that first September, there was a lot more inventory. And because of that, of course, we added a bunch of teachers, and it was easy to get on the schedule. Well, now, in that time of the year and a half, schedules are full.
Right.
So therefore, something might open up, but we don't have the same inventory that's available. So basically, if a student has a time, especially one that's a good time, it's a good idea to hold it through the summer.
Right.
Okay. So the idea of inventory is just, the finite number of lessons that we can do.
Sure.
Because we figure, when we get a student, that their average span here is between 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So therefore, those spots just don't open up like they did when we first added all these rooms.
Right.
Okay. The other thing then to kind of go along with that is we've added a new feature on the website, which is a new student wait list. So the way that would work is if you're a new student inquiring and you're looking for a specific day or a specific time, a specific range of time, then you can put your information into that list. We'll get you into our Jackrabbit Studio management software, and that way we'll contact you as soon as something opens up on that list.
Yeah, that's great.
And then, of course, that goes hand in hand with the online registration where you can look at all current available dates and times.
Right. Nice.
Because we do have some situations now occurring where maybe a student wants to get, whatever it is, a 5 o'clock on Tuesday, but that time isn't opening up for another month. So at times we could put you in a different time and there's...
You kind of wait for the time you want to open up.
It's a very complicated game of Tetris.
Yeah, sounds like it, like a little checkers game.
Yeah. All right, so now let's get into some questions about summer lessons.
Okay, so how do lessons work in the summer?
So we are open year-round for music lessons. We do not close during the summer. And, there's some good reasons for that. I think there's a good general reason, and then there's also a good reason as far as like from my specific history. Mm-hmm. So I guess the good general reason is that kids have a lot more time on their hands, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, they can approach their instrument more in depth without, the constraints of schedules and school and all that kind of stuff. And we've even had some students that do the deep dive program where they do an hour a week for the summer rather than a half hour a week. And that's the general overview. But for me specifically, summer times is where I really took off in a lot of my technique unique because of just that fact. I made a lot of gains musically during the summer, even from the standpoint that I would, go back to school and, you can be ahead.
Yeah, that is true for dance as well. And we can talk more about that next week. But from a musical standpoint, I remember as a kid, I played the violin, and I would go and do 2 weeks at Blue Lake in the summer. And I would do my lessons year round as well. But those 2 really focused weeks at Blue Lake always really helped me to improve my skills so much because of the consistency. So summer's a great time to take some extra time with your instrument to really solidify those skills.
Yeah, it is. And for, with some instruments, you can take them outside.
And do a lot of music students quit over the summer?
So for years, we have enrolled 30 to 40 students every June. So some students do withdraw, but we get a huge influx of students in June. A lot of parents want something fun for their child to do over the summer. And many of those students then continue into the fall, which I guess gets me back to my initial conversation about inventory. So a good number of them might have been on a wait list for the prime time spots that other families had given up. Right now, we are at our highest enrollment, and this is something we announced just after New Year's, that we broke 1,000 students. Yay!
Yeah.
So the other point about this, too, is that the number of students traveling in the summer and withdrawing has been really low. So we expect this summer to be our busiest.
Yeah,
yet.
It sounds like it. And how full is the academy right now?
All right. So we are over 90% capacity, and especially in those, we call them prime time spots, most teachers are sold out between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m., and some of them have no openings at all. And, like I mentioned, there's a waiting list.
Right. So getting on that wait list is a really good idea.
Yeah, a good example of this would be voice lessons. So voice lessons, right now we're doing 9 days of voice.
Wow.
a week. So obviously there's
9
Yeah.
How does that math work?
Multiple rooms going on at the same
I
time. 9 days of voice. And with those 9 days of voice, on our openings page, there's 4 openings.
Okay.
And they're all like, there's one in the early afternoon, and then there's a couple later at night ones. So that would be a good example of, if you can go over the summer, well, by all means, hold on to your spot.
Sure. So if students want to withdraw for summer, can they keep their spot for fall?
So we'll open the spot for new students. Lessons here are on a first come, first served basis. So if a student withdraws for the summer, we can't guarantee that we'll have the same spot for you in the fall.
Okay. So if a student wants to stay with the same teacher in fall at the same time slot, how do they go about doing that?
So we have 3 options as far as that goes. The first one, which we've used for years, I think it really came to light, of course, in 2020, was doing Zoom lessons for absences. Okay. Sure. So basically, if you're out of town even, and you can make it to any device with Zoom, you can still have your lesson at your regular day and time with your teacher. And that's always been a really popular option. Basically, even if it's a situation where, you're a piano student, well, still get online, because there's a lot of things that you can do even without a piano.
Sure.
We've had, a brass student who maybe their horn got locked up at school. I always tell them, by all means, come in for your lesson, because there's a lot of musical things that sometimes you don't have time to work on when you're
Sure.
dealing with notes. Like if you count through rhythms.
Yeah, theory and rhythm
Yeah,
work.
there's a lot
Sure.
of things we can do there. Basically, every August, we get calls from students who've been with us for years, but they withdrew, and they want to return to the same teacher or day or time, but that spot's been filled by another student.
Yeah, that's always a bummer. What's another option if people are unable to, they want to keep their spot, but they can't be in person in the summer for any reason?
Another thing that we've been doing and do throughout the whole year are pre-recorded lessons. And this is a really cool option from the standpoint that way the student can watch it anytime. Basically, the way that it works is that the teacher will record the student's lesson at the scheduled time the lesson would happen and send it to their online portal. So that way they can view the video anytime. Maybe if you're on vacation, you want to watch it right before you get back, so you got to get a review of things. And the best part about it is that it stores it in that portal, and they can watch it at any time in the future, which is a big help, especially like when they're reviewing for achievement tests or a project, something like that.
Great. What other options?
So the other one that we had some people take advantage of last summer was to sublease the spot to a family member or a friend. And so essentially you can send a family member or a friend in your stead for any date that you would miss, and then they can reimburse you if you want. And you just need to let the office know who is coming in your place and when. And this can be really cool for a few different angles. Maybe you have a friend or a relative who's interested in an instrument and wants, like an introduction to that instrument.
Yeah, and they might not be ready to commit to signing up for lessons yet. They just want to give it a go.
They want to give it a go.
I love that.
Then that has also then led to, then maybe they'll sign up for lessons afterwards too. So I guess the bigger picture thing there is that you never really know where music is going to take you.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good.
So essentially what we're saying is, if you love your teacher, keep your spot by using online lessons, pre-recorded lessons, or subleasing your spot. 3 great options for summertime.
That's so great. And I think summer is just going to be here. We're going to blink our eyes. We come back from spring break, and it seems like we're just turning the corner and wrapping up spring already. So
exactly. Well, I have had a fun time talking about summer music lessons with you.
I have enjoyed it as well, Rich.
I look forward to a fun spring break and wish everybody the same.
Have a great, safe week ahead, everyone. And make sure to tag us in your pictures of what you're doing on spring break with #Avalon Spring Break.
And we'll talk with you when we get back.
Bye.
Avalon offers dance classes, music lessons, and theater classes 6 days a week. With over 40 teachers, we have something for kids and adults and everyone in between. You can reach the dance and theater department at avalonschoolofthearts.com and the music department at avalonmusicacademyofholland.com. Where dreams begin is in that magical space within. When your heart and your mind and your soul intertwine in wonder, that's where dreams begin.